We acknowledge that Tri-Cities Community Television operates on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Coquitlam First Nation. We thank the Coquitlam who continue to live on these lands and care for them along with the waters and all that is above and below.
Hello, welcome to Tri-Cities Community TV. My name's Hazel Postma, and with me today I have Glynis Karpinsky, who is the Vice President of the Dogwood Gardening Club. She's also known as the Impatient Gardner, which I think in this episode you might get a glimpse of why she's got that name. So we've looked at indoor plants, we've looked at watering, and today we're going to look at seeds, when to sow them, what sorts of seeds you can start indoors, what are best planted straight into the ground, and everything in between. So how do we start seeds inside, and what type of seeds?
Okay, that's a
It's a huge topic.
Very large topic, but the seeds start coming out in December. So when you go to the nursery, or seeds that you have saved from last year, many of them are ready to germinate January, February, but there's specific ways to do it. Some of the seeds need to be sown when the weather is much, much warmer because they need the heat. So like beans, if you put them in too early, they're not going to germinate and you're not going to get any beans coming up. So they tend to be later. When you go to the nursery and you get your seed packages, and I like this company because it's very local in BC. So these varieties are tested here in Delta. So that's West Coast Seeds. And these are the ones that I'm going to be growing this year. So we've got lettuce, peas, a bush bean, and Swiss chard.
So these are ones they're going straight outside, or you're doing them inside?
The beans and the peas, they're going straight outside when it's time. The seed companies have a lot of information that they put on the back that can help you know when you need to seed them outside, inside, and basically how to treat them to get the best return for the amount of seeds that you put in. Generally, if you get 80% germination, that's a really good amount. Okay.
So read the instructions.
Read the instructions. And again, this is one of the reasons I was impatient.
I
just like, oh yeah, bush beans, let's just put them in. And after many years of failures, and it's okay, my husband said, why don't you read the instructions?
Always a good plan.
Always a good plan. So this one has do not plant in cold, wet soil. So that's the beans, because they just won't germinate. Timing, so you want to direct sow from late spring to early summer. Tells you how far apart to put the seeds. All the information is on the back. So read that.
So we can be buying the seeds now.
Yes.
They're not you're not getting last year's.
No. And seeds are usually good for 3 years. Package of seeds usually good for 3 years.
Okay.
Some of these are going to be started indoors in January. So if you've got something that takes a long time to get to the point where you're going to be harvesting, you can start it indoors. And then you can also have that crop rotation. One of the ones that I like to start in January, and I've started them here, and I use a lot of recycled containers. So this is the lid from a pie.
Right.
And I layer some wet paper towels.
Right.
And I've sprinkled my seeds on here, and I just did this about 5 days ago, and the seeds are actually starting to break the shells.
Yes.
And so I had really good success doing this last year with the tomatoes. So I leave them in this,
and what are these?
These are tomato.
Oh, they are tomatoes.
Yeah, these are tomato seeds. They're a specialty variety. Label your containers. That's another thing I've learned, because I'd end up with all these things germinating, and I thought, okay, which variety is that?
Tumbling tiger tomatoes.
Yeah. So then I know which one that
Very
is.
clever. Yes.
And I spritz them to keep them wet.
Ah, right.
So I do that every day. And
Where are you putting them now? On a windowsill, in the dark?
these ones I just leave in my mudroom, which is absolutely dark, until I start to see the little root coming out, and then they'll move them into the light. But again, you don't want them in hot, bright light, but you're not going to get that in the winter.
Sort of somewhere in the middle of your house.
Bright light. And then I let them get to the point where you've got a good root, and then I transplant them into yogurt containers. Now, you can buy pots, and you can use these type of pots to put them in, but I like to recycle stuff, so I punch holes in the bottom. I fill it 3/4 of the way full of a nice potting soil, and then when they have enough root and some stem, then I very gently take one of these, poke a hole in my soil.
What is that, a knitting needle?
Yeah, it's just a plant stand. You can use a chopstick. You've brought toothpicks. I can use toothpicks. You put them in your yogurt containers with holes. Those work really well, and then you're not spending a lot of money on pots and and seed mats is another thing that I have at home. It's a heated seed mat. I might put them on there if they're difficult to germinate. Tomatoes are easy. One of the best things to grow for outside. So those will start to germinate, and then I'll let them get big, transplant them into here, and then when it's warming up outside and I've got 3 or 4 sets of leaves, you start to what they call prick them out. And so that means you would take your container with the plant in, and generally they're about this high. You don't want to grab them by the stem and pull them up. So you grab a leaf, because if you happen to tear a leaf or break a leaf,
it doesn't matter.
It's okay. They'll grow more leaves. If you grab it and damage the stem, you're going to damage the plant forever.
Right.
So you gently prick them out, and then you can put them into a larger pot if it's still too early to put them out. And then when they're about this tall, it should be warm enough by that time to transplant them right into the garden. And last year I used seeds from heirloom tomatoes that I bought at the grocery store, and they germinated beautifully, gave me lovely big plants, and I had lots of tomatoes.
So you dried them or left them over the winter? They didn't go moldy, or?
To save the seeds?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so then you cut your tomato open, you scoop out some of your seeds, and I take them a dry paper towel and kind of rub that slimy bit off, and then just let them dry on the paper towel, and when they've all dried up, then I shake them off I use old pill containers, which you need to rinse out first in case there's any medication in there, right? So you rinse those out, and then I save my seeds in these, and they're airtight, and then
clever idea.
Label them.
Yes.
And because again, I've had batches of these, and I thought, what is that, right? And you think, oh yeah, I'll remember.
But you don't.
And I don't. So make sure that you label.
Okay.
Like these are some seeds that I saved from which squash was this one? Kombucha squash. So I just scooped out when I got them from the store, and those will germinate really nicely. But I also do buy seeds. So I've got all of these vegetables that will be going out. And the location that I live in, I don't have a lot of sunlight. So I've only got about 6 or 7 hours. So I, over the years, have discovered that these are the only vegetables I grow. I can't grow carrots. I don't have enough light. Squash, I struggle with squash. I live by the forest. The trees give me too much shade. So this is what I've
Well, I
down
wish
to.
I'd known about the carrots, because I tried carrots last year. I had 3 seed packets over the course of 2 months, and I didn't get one.
Yeah.
I blamed the squirrels or the ants or something, but
and the
had no
temperature.
idea it was the sun.
Yeah, so I also do a lot of flowers. These ones I will, again, read the instructions and probably start these ones.
Oh, you can start flowers indoors?
You can start flowers indoors as well. One of the things that I do besides this is what they call winter sowing. And this is a milk jug, right? And so we've cut the milk jug 3/4 of the way around, so it's got a hinge like this. And I'm just gonna reach over here, Hazel, and grab some soil. So this is just potting mix or a seed starter mix.
Here.
And you got the lid there, and down there. And you fill this like this. Put that back over there. Shake that so it's about that full. It's got holes in the bottom, which actually I should have had
That's all right.
I had a big
That's
plastic
fine.
container here. Look.
Oh,
this
yes.
is- There we go. That's what that's for. So you've got at least a couple of inches, actually even a little bit more, because the roots are going to grow down there. So you want enough soil to give your roots
Strong
something
roots,
to
yeah.
grow in. Now this does not work really well with things like carrots that have a really long root because there's just not enough soil. But things like lettuce or the Swiss chard, you can start in here very easy.
Wouldn't lettuce be so delicate that you would have a hard time taking them out?
I haven't.
Okay.
And I just use something like this, and the roots will grow
Very
together.
careful, yeah.
You can also direct sow lettuce right in, but this
Right.
you can start this in January,
Oh,
right? So that you can get several crops. If I had a clump, I would just loosen this. Loosen the
okay,
roots.
Okay.
Again, pull it up by the leaves.
And this is inside?
I start it, like I do it inside, and then this goes directly into the garden outside. So,
Not in January, though.
yes,
Oh, really?
yes.
Really?
It acts like a little greenhouse. So if I open this, and I'm gonna sow some of these seeds in here. First of all, I'm gonna moisten this up.
So not really wet.
So not really wet, but you do have holes in there to drain out, and this. And you're better off not planting huge
Too many,
amounts.
Yeah.
So you're just sprinkling on top like this.
Oh, really? You don't have to
No,
put
just
more
like that.
soil on top?
And then you close this up, and I've got duct tape here.
Oh, good
And
for
you-
everything.
And you duct tape is shut. It's a little fussy, but it works really well. So you seal your milk jug like this.
And you're leaving this
and you're
open?
leaving the top open. And then this goes right out in the garden like that.
In the soil, do you dig this bottom bit in? You just leave it?
Just leave them. Yeah.
Ah,
Don't put them right underneath an eave where they won't get water. You leave the top off so you get a little bit of snow or water. The advantage of this is you've got a warmer temperature, so they'll germinate more quickly. You have them already acclimated to the temperature outside, so you
Outside.
don't have to harden them off the way
Right.
you would if you're sowing inside, like my tomatoes
Right.
have to be hardened off, which means that you have to leave them out in the sun
bring them in,
and
and
then
then-
bring them in at night,
Right,
and then
right.
this back and forth, which
Right.
I find I get really impatient. So it's like the fastest I can leave stuff out and just let it do its own thing, I'm happier. So these, and you can have, I have a girlfriend that does this, and she's got like 20 of them. And she's got vegetables and flowers. And
so
they're
you could
all
do
outside.
pretty much any seeds in this?
Except these long root
Oh, yeah,
vegetables.
yeah, not the root. But they go directly. That brings us to...
Yeah, they go directly.
They do.
Things like sweet peas, you want those directly. What does it say about these ones? Start indoors 7 to 8 weeks before planting out and well after the last frost. So these kinds of instructions would do really well in things like this.
Right.
You know, and as I said, I use old plastic containers. I don't try to spend a lot of money on
No.
fancy gardening things, and you'll find most gardeners do that
Do
as
that,
well.
yeah.
So
So, okay, so we've got these, we've got the indoor ones. Now, I've always been told that you're not supposed to plant anything until the May long weekend. I cannot see you
no.
as the Impatient
I'm
Gardner,
terrible.
waiting
Yeah.
till the May long weekend. So when in BC and Tri-Cities in
Okay.
particular can we plant?
Well, I have learned to wait for my annuals to put out to the May long weekend, because I would go to the nurseries and I'd be buying all these wonderful plants, and it would still be too cold, but I had to have the plants, and so I would be putting them out, and then they end up, it's almost like a hibernation. They kind of just, they don't grow, they don't put out new buds, they stay the same, and they take a long time to kind of acclimate and get going. Whereas if I had have waited until the May long weekend for my tender annuals to put out, then they take
wouldn't
off,
take off
right?
quickly.
But if you put them out too early, they just don't do well, and
But
it's really
what
tempting.
about what I know, because the
really
stores
tempting.
start selling them
They
in
do.
like March.
So you have to, and you get the beautiful hanging baskets that are out, and you think, oh my gosh, but they've just come right out of a greenhouse. So they've come out of a controlled environment, and unless you've got a really sheltered spot that you can nurture them, they're not going to do well.
Not going to do well.
And they get what they call damping off disease, which is like a fungus, and the stems rot and the leaves go all mushy, and they just...
So learn patience for that. But
Yes.
are there some things you can plant earlier?
Yeah, right now I've just planted some violas. So
Oh,
violas
okay.
can
Yeah.
go out right now. It's February. Violas, primroses, pansies can go out right now. Snowdrops.
Okay, so there are things that can go.
Some of your little bulbs that are like the little irises. So some of those spring flowers. But honestly, you're
You should
better
wait.
off if
But-
you wait.
Just my last question, what about vegetables that can go earlier? Or do we have to wait till the May?
Again, read your instructions. The colder vegetables are things like your spinach and your lettuces and your radishes. Those kinds of things can go out earlier than say the tomatoes for sure, or the beans. So again, it's all that information on here, right? It's
Read the instructions.
Read the instructions, and it will tell you. So I have, as I said, have learned. A little tip when you're going to plant peas and beans, they have a very hard seed coat. So
Right.
one of the things that you can do is take a piece of fine sandpaper and scuff the seeds, the seed coat, and that will help speed up the germination. Another thing people do is they'll soak them for 24 hours before they put them out. That
yes,
can
I
help.
have. I've heard of that.
I've done that with my sweet peas, is soak them, but this year I'm going to try the sandpaper. So one of my friends says, yeah, it works really well, and they'll germinate much more quickly than if you just put them out. And one of the other things that Impatient Gardner is, you know, I go out and I keep checking, and I've planted things and nothing's happening, and I'll actually dig it up and look at the roots, and they say, leave it, just leave it, let it grow, be
Wait
patient.
and see, wait and
So,
see.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, this is wonderful. Now, when I was on Vancouver Island last year, I noticed quite a few towns had seed libraries. Do we have anything like that in the Tri-Cities?
Douglas College has.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, you can.
I should know that.
You can contact them, and I'm not sure what department it is. I tend to be able to collect enough seeds from friends and other people in our garden club, and my own seeds, and then I also like to, in January when it's dismal and there's not much going on, it's really fun to spend a couple of hours in front of a big rack of seeds.
I know.
Read the packages and choose what you want to do. So
Yeah.
that's what I do.
That's great. Thank you so much, Glynis,
Oh, you're welcome.
for sharing all your expertise.
Oh, you're
and
welcome.
I look forward to our next program.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Tri-Cities Community Television. My name's Hazel Postma, and this is Glynis Karpinsky with the Gardening Society. We're very happy that you joined us. Thank you.